What is going on, Zinger Nation? How's everyone doing today? Welcome back to another After Hours show. I'm your host, Ryan Rozbiani, and you are awesome for showing up. I appreciate you. This is going to be a fun one. We've got a lot to talk about. We've got massive blowout earnings that came out. The title says the Clove short squeeze. I guess they want me to talk about Clove, and if it's going to short squeeze, we're going to have to take a look at that chart. I haven't been paying attention to it, but we will do a deep dive onto it. As always, with the show, we do it in three parts. Part one, we look at the indices. Part two, we talk about the hot stocks of the day. So obviously Clove, Twitter, Facebook, some of the hot ones, Snapchat. We'll take a look at their earnings, see what's next. AMC, we got to review it. We do that every single day on the show. I've been doing that. It's kind of become a ritual till we see whatever happens with the stock. And part three, it's when I get to interact with you. That's my favorite part of the show, when you can enter stocks into the chat. You can start now if you like. All we ask is you hit the like button, you drop a stock in the chat, and I go over the chart for you and let you know what I think. As always, please remember I'm not a financial advisor. Anything I say on this show is meant for education and entertainment purposes only. This is meant for fun and educational purposes only. Again, I reiterate that as I send out the tweet for the show. So we can start off with SPY. Let's take a look at SPY. So I want to take a look at how things were doing. I'm going to use Webull because we've been using Webull for a while now. Whoops, I'm logged in. I don't want to be logged in when I do this because I don't want some information to pop up. One time I was doing the stream and my phone number somehow popped up onto the screen. I don't know why. I don't know how. Let me close it. It looks like I'm having some bugginess. I just updated Webull, so it's getting a little bit buggy. Live now on I almost did the cash tag for Benzinga at Benzinga. So how are you guys doing? Let me know in the chat. How's your trading day been going? Do you have a green day? Do you have a red day? What stocks were you playing so we can go over those stocks and we can get moving. Okay, well, that loads. I just want to discuss Snapchat. I'm just making a quick little list for myself so that we can go, as we go live, I can jump back to this list so I can make my life a little bit easier. Looks like D. William 911 was looking at CARV. So cool. We'll take a look at CARV later into the show. But let's jump into SPY. Let me bring up my Webull one more time. There she is. Perfect. So SPY. Look at that. It's as if this Tuesday dip never even happened. That's beautiful. That's awesome. By the way, before I start the show, I want to reiterate something. I'm doing something pretty interesting. If you look in the link in the description below for the Patreon, if you sign up this month, next month will be on me. So next month I will refund your payment. So if you'd like to sign up, I teach you how to do kind of a lot of the technical analysis. A lot of the stuff that we do in the show is there, plus weekly watch list on stocks, options, and it's a very supportive, small Discord private community that we have there. And if Discord is not your thing, don't worry. Everything's posted to Patreon and a private Twitter that we have. So just wanted to put that out there before we get started. And you can find the links to that in the description, or you can go to ryanstocks.com and all the links for that are there. So you can definitely do that. And hello. Look, everyone's here. Now I'm seeing the comments. What's up, Noah, D. William, Jeff, my man. Jeff had a green day. Stefan's back. What's up, Stefan? Welcome back. Yogi Bull is here. Hey, what's up, Yogi? Jeff says, hit that like button. Listen to Jeff. Hit that like button. Hello, everybody. Cool. Let's get started. So SPY, again, as discussed like 5 seconds earlier, it's as if this dip never even happened. We're rocking and rolling every single day. It's like just keeps going up. I think we could see that. Look at that in after hours. We actually might even get there. Look at that. In after hours, we're going for that's 437. Mind blowing, right? Like, who would have thought that after this massive dip that we had, massive, terrifyingly massive, it was like people weren't expecting it to happen, but it happened and it fell, and that's okay. And now it's slowly making its way back up and trying to get to where it wants to go and where it wants to be. So SPY is doing good. Look at that. We'll get over, if we can get over this high of 436 tomorrow and open, if this after hours holds up into pre-market tomorrow, we can have a very, very, very interesting day tomorrow. So we'll have to definitely check that out. QQQ is next. Our good old NASDAQ, look at that. Doesn't even flinch. I don't know where my indicators on this one, but let me draw some fibs so I can have something in reference to this. There we go. And lock. So yeah, look at that. This one's going for a 52-week high as well. Look at that. 365.49. We're at 364.97. So we're like, what is that? 52 cents away from a 52-week high. So we'll see how that goes. What's going up, Nick? Nick, how you doing? Ari, what's going on? You're the GOAT, Ari. Let's keep going. So I like this. It's good when we don't have to discuss too much about it, but they're doing well. They're doing very well. Looks like we want to go into a kind of a trajectory upward. I want to look at the weekly chart. Looks like last week was the only red week that we had, and then this week we've got a massive green week that's happening here. We're going to oversold again. When we go into oversold, it doesn't like oversold for QQQ, so it might have a slight pullback after we hit the 52-week high and possibly cross it. So we will have to see how that plays out, but it's very, very interesting how these things are moving. IWM for our small cap players still hasn't made its way back into that wedge. It's fighting. This support line has now become resistance. Hence why personally I'm not playing too many penny stocks right now. Some of them are doing very well. We had one in the watch list that we posted, two in the watch list that we posted for this week that did very well. One was CMFS, did fantastically. I'll show you the chart for that one. CMFS did very, very well. CFMS, there you go. Look at that, did very well. We alerted it Monday, which was what's Monday? Because I think that was the 19th was on Monday. It's been so long, right? So the 19th on Monday, so you could have added it down there. Let's see how you could have done if you bought and held. Look at that, 36%, not bad. I know everyone in this market hates 36%, but remember there was a time when 5% was like the best thing that could happen for a stock trade. So let's look at Bitcoin too. Bitcoin had a massive, massive rally from the Bitcoin conference that happened, the B Word conference with Jack Dorsey from Twitter, Kathy Wood from ARK Invest, and of course Elon Musk from Tesla. I'm not sure who that moderator was. I think that moderator was from ARK, but I don't remember off the top of my head where he was from, but that's okay. So you can see this. Just as everyone thought that, hey, we're going to break 28.8, the world is over, Bitcoin's going to 20K, we rallied back up. And we're doing very good. We're in 32s now. I do want to kind of draw, what is this time frame? So I do from May till now, a quick retracement. I want to see how we're looking. We're nowhere near reversal points at all. Nowhere near it. We need a lot. Look, we're trading inside of a box now. If you've come to this channel before and you've seen me talk, we talk a lot about trading inside of a box, and Bitcoin's doing that. It's been traded. It traded inside this box, then it went down, and then it's trading inside this box now. So I'm watching it very closely. I want to make sure that things go well. Sorry, I'm getting a little dry mouth. Nick, we will definitely discuss CCIV. Ari will discuss AEI for sure. But talking Bitcoin right now, it's hard to tell where this thing is going. It looks like this area is proving to be resistance for it. This area was proving to be resistance for, which is the 32.2 area. It broke. It spiked up, which I never like these massive candle wicks on Bitcoin candles, at least. And then it came back down fairly quickly, and now it looks like the 32.2 area is showing to be support-ish around it now, but we might break that based off of where the RSI and MACD are showing. Again, very, very, very kind of freehand analysis right now, but we'll see how these things go, and we'll see where it's headed next. So let's jump right into it. So I'm going to start off with your guys' favorite stock, AMC. So let me just retweet this and let me talk about this one. So, we'll start with Clove. So I'll talk Clove now because I know you guys, the title says Clove. And so I want to discuss Clove, and we can jump into Clove because Clover Health, formerly known as IPOC, one of the Chamath Palihapitiya's SPAC mergers that happened. I personally was an owner in IPOC. I sold after he had a CNBC interview where he kind of botched it very hard. Rodrigo, what's going on? I'm seeing a comment down here that says, what is this? Bro, I have 20K in pounds. We'll discuss all your stocks, I promise. Let me just get through these stocks, and I promise we'll discuss these. But this thing had its heyday here around the 28th, and it's not doing fairly well today. That's why I'm sort of confused as to why they set the title to Clove Short Squeeze, but that's okay. We'll discuss it. But take a look at this. MACD's been ugly, right? And again, I've told you this. I'll always tell you this. I'm unbiased. I don't have a position in Clove. I don't have a position in AMC. My whole goal is to bring you an unbiased opinion, to be as honest as possible with you all as to how I think about the stock and what I feel the stock can do and where the stock is going. So yeah, let's see. Let me start off with the weekly time frame. Weekly time frame is not looking good. It looks like it wants to go into a red trajectory. The RSI is holding you up because this week was a green week so far, up 5.12%. The daily chart is showing me, again, we're in a downward trajectory. The MACD wants to cross, but the volume looks like it's not there. I need a bigger volume. Yeah, see, look at that. Volume is quite low. Well, it's on par if you ignore these bars right here where the volume spiked on the kind of the momentum play that it was. Give me a Bollinger Band. So it looks like you hit the bottom of the Bollinger Band. Now you're returning to the mean, which is the 20 moving average, which is a good thing. I do like that. I do like that it's doing that movement, but I want to make sure that this doesn't act as resistance. So this point right here in the middle is your 1033, which is quite a ways away from where we are now at 862, especially with this volume profile that we have for this stock. It's quite a ways away. So we're watching that. I'd like to see my moving averages next. Moving averages. I don't think this has a 200 moving average. It should actually. It was IPOC. Yeah, look at that. I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. I know this is a little harder to see right now. It's a little bit weird, but I don't like it when you're under the 200 moving average. That's never a good sign. When you're under the 50 moving average, that's neat. Under 200 is very bad. Under 50 is bad. I don't like this setup whatsoever. You could have quickly swung traded if you trade using things like Bollinger Bands. You could have picked it up. But see, this is the thing. You can't even trade this on a Bollinger Band because you would have picked it up here in hopes that it would bounce to the mean from the Bollinger Band. You added here, let's say at 886, and then it really started reversing here at 767. That's why Bollinger Bands aren't a end-all be-all indicator. And no indicator should be an end-all be-all indicator, to be honest with you. Personally, it's not looking good. I'll be 1,000% honest with you. It doesn't look good for this stock. It needs something to move it up. This whole sector of insurance is never great. It's never a hot sector. Another stock that is that's kind of in this sector is I'm blanking on the name right now. Mile, I believe it is, M-I-L-E. One Mitch talks about a lot. That one looks like it wants to reverse, but again, it's a very, if we put the charts parallel to each other, you'll see that Mile and Clove tend to move in the same pattern. Look at that. Run-up. This one has a healthier run-up, though, a much healthier run-up here on Mile, and then they both descend together, and they start to pop together. So I guess you can kind of see one leads the other, but they're too much in parallel. It looks like, who leads who? Okay, it looks like Mile leads Clove. So if you watch Mile, you can see Mile lead Clove, but it looks like here that Clove starts to lead Mile at a certain point, but that's okay. I'll be frank with you all. I don't like Clove's chart. That's just how I feel. That's just how my opinion is. I've never liked the company's business model. I don't like what they're doing. I know a lot of people are stuck in the stock because it got pumped heavily on social. So we'll have to see. Norma Cordova says Bill. Who's Bill? I don't know who Bill is. But looks like we're slowly kind of making – it wants to make a way up here. It wanted to make a way up here, but it couldn't do it. Let me look at it on the 30-minute chart. You're under VWAP. It wants to break VWAP, but the volume, unfortunately, isn't there. Volume decays here. Hey, Sue, what's going on from Portugal? Wow, cool, very cool. We got international viewers. Awesome. Is $5 million a fair price for AMC? I say $4 million is a fair price for AMC. 4 million market cap or 4 million per share, or 5 million market cap or 5 million per share. I don't know, Nick. It's an interesting question. I'm going to need further clarification on that question to be able to correctly answer it for you. But let's go to AMC. Speaking of AMC, let's go to AMC. AMC is more of a fun stock to discuss than Clove. So looks like we had the momentum. So if you were with me on Tuesday, once we live streamed, that was on the 20th. We had a very good day. It was awesome. It's always fun when AMC's green. Everyone's in here, and people like to discuss AMC. So let me tweet that out right now that I'm discussing AMC now. Talking AMC now. And you can see, unfortunately, it did what we discussed. Yeah, Chris is saying stocks get pumped on social media. News to me. Should bring your shoes if that's the key. Yeah, man, I gotta get my shoes. I gotta pack up my bags. I gotta get refinance my home and then buy more of the stock. listen to Chris and smash the like button. I agree with Ryan. Thank you, Sue. Appreciate you. But yeah, so let's talk AMC. So it looks like we discussed this in the live stream on Tuesday that, hey, we need to get over the 4163 area and then make our way up. But it looks like the 4163 area, they went over it, but it didn't close over it. And then it was rejected, and 4163 is now acting as resistance, and AMC has returned back into a descending pattern. Unfortunately, it hasn't been able to kind of go back into its upward trajectory pattern that we wanted it to return to, and it was looking like it could return to, but unfortunately that's not what's happening right now. But that's okay. We have to watch it, make sure, play it at your own discretion. I'm curious to see the Bollinger Bands on this one. So yeah, look at that, exactly as we were discussing too. Return to the mean. The mean is the middle line of the Bollinger Band. It's the 20 moving average. It hit it and rejected it and came back down, but again, you're still holding that 35.55 support, which is good. That's a good sign that you're still holding that. Very good, but we'll have to see how that plays out into tomorrow, especially with a lot of different things going on in the global markets with the CLOV. So we got to be very careful with this one. But it's an interesting play. It's holding up much longer than anyone ever thought it would, which is exciting. And we'll have to see how it goes. Let me see how it's doing in the after hours. It's flat. Not a beautiful day today for AMC, but that's okay. So another stock I want to talk to you folks about today is Twitter. Yeah, we're not going to spend too much time on AMC today. I don't want to spend the whole stream talking about one stock. I don't want this to be like an AMC show. That's not my reason for doing this program. I want to educate. So let's talk about Twitter. Twitter had very good earnings. We're going to go to the Benzinga Pro platform to discuss the earnings of said stock. So they reported earnings today, which I've been expecting them to do very well, and they did. They smashed. Here we go. Let's go into news. Here we go. Twitter announces earnings per share of EPS of 8 cents. So that's earnings per share of 8 cents, which beats the 7 cent estimate by 1 cent. Believe it or not, it's a big deal for them. If you know Twitter, fun fact, is the first stock I ever went long on. It's my very first long position ever. So to me, Twitter is a big. It's got a sentimental place for me. The first time I ever bought the stock was around 2017 for like $18 a share, and I've always held that one. Like even when I cleared out my account to pay for university, I would always keep Twitter. It was a very small position, but I would always keep it, and I've been slowly adding to it recently now. So I'm very happy for Twitter making these movements. It's one of the first ones that I was like, all right, I like Twitter. I like what they're doing. This is awesome because it's giving everyone a voice. Their sales beat, which is awesome. 1.19 billion beat the estimates of 1.06 billion, which is very good. I like that a lot. They're doing very well. Twitter reportedly their earnings. This is a 105% increase over their loss of 139 per share from the same period last year. So year over year, they're up 105%. The company reported sales of 1.19 bill, which beat the analyst consensus of 1.06 bill, and this is a 12% beat. And a 74% year-over-year beat, which is very good. Folks, take a look at Twitter. There's very few places where you're not really charged for anything on Twitter. You're not paying for anything on Twitter. So they're making money through advertising, other stuff behind the scenes that we don't see. That makes it much harder for them to make money. So seeing this is very, very, very interesting. Let's see if they reported guidance. Twitter reports average monetizable daily active users were 206 million versus Q3 of 186 million. Very good. So they're going up. Their form 8K. This 8K might provide us with some information, but these 8Ks are quite long, and I want to find someone who's reported this like very like bullet pointed. EPS of 20 cents for Q2. Where's their guidance? They look like they haven't initiated. Yeah, calls at 6 p.m. So at 6 p.m. they'll probably be initiating their guidance for next quarter. But Twitter's doing very good. Let's take a look at the chart. After hours, it's up 5%. This was actually one of the stocks that we had in the Patreon. I'll show you here because some people won't believe me. But if you look here, this is a screenshot from Patreon. I said, hey, I'm swinging this with a PT of 72. We just hit 73. Entry price 65 to 67. And we entered it somewhere around down here. You could have gotten that. Yes, like even 4 days ago on that dip, you could have gotten in. Even though it's terrifying, sometimes you got to buy the fear, sell the FOMO. And right now it's FOMO. So I'm personally holding. That's just my personal position in Twitter is I'm holding it. I think it's going to do much better in the next 3 to 5 years. That's the trajectory of investing that I like to do. Some investments are 6 months to a year, some are a year to 3 years, and some are just fully fledged long term. Here we go. We got an awesome comment from Chris coming in. Ryan, just read through the Twitter report. My only concern is that their MDAU were up big internationally, but down from the first quarter in the U.S. Was hoping to see the U.S. region rise. Chris, I think there's one specific person that might be a reason for that. We don't talk politics on this in this program, at least, but just from what I've been reading since the election, a lot of discussion has dropped. A lot of ratings have dropped since after the election because a lot of activity would happen on these platforms in terms of politics, and now the politics engine has slowly died down since after the election. So it looks like a lot of the activity dropped as well. And correlating that, like channels like Fox News, CNN have seen their ratings drop. Facebook, Twitter, a lot of these platforms have banned Donald Trump and a lot of his. So he's moved to other places. So a lot of the activity that came with him is now not there anymore. So that might be a reason why it dropped. But internationally, that's very interesting to see that they've grown internationally. I haven't sat down and read the full report yet, but I definitely plan to. Like the strong advertising revenue and the rest of the report, though, me too. I'm very excited that they are doing very well in advertising. I think with the ticketed spaces, they're going to do very, very good. I think it's a very interesting setup of what they're doing. I don't agree with the fact that they're cutting fleets. I think fleets was very interesting. It worked very well for me personally. Like I'd get like 500, 600 views on a fleet, sometimes 1,000 views on a fleet. So I think it was quite good. Sell Twitter after midterm elections. No, I'm not sure. You got to watch that closer into how things move. Strong earnings, Snap and Twitter. What do you think about Facebook reports? Let's discuss that. Let's go into Facebook next. I was going to go to Snap, but let's go to Facebook next. So Facebook actually hit an all-time high in after hours. So if you look here, their 52-week high is, 358.79, and after hours we're here at 360. So tomorrow morning, if this holds up, we will gap up around somewhere around here. So we'll gap up here. So Facebook is interesting. Facebook is very interesting. And earnings, if you look here, they've gapped up in the past. Earnings here, they've come down. There's no rhyme or reason. Look here, you have a ride down, then a gap up. Personally, to me, Facebook is a buy under $300. I was saying that on this program a lot, especially with Aaron. We were like, hey, man, Facebook under 300 is a steal. It's a steal. And it was. It's proven to be a massive steal under 300. So we have to see how this plays out tomorrow, going into movement for tomorrow, if this momentum holds into pre-market tomorrow or people start to take profits. But I think going into earnings, they're going to do very well, but they're going to have probably a parallel situation that happened with Twitter, where their users are going to do well, but you're going to see a drop in a drop in domestic, and especially that a lot of this clashing has kind of dropped down. There's a lot of pressure for Facebook next week after Twitter and Snap. I agree, Chris. I agree 100%. I agree 100%. Yeah, I agree. So I think personally it's going to run up into earnings, just like it tends to do. If you look here, there's always a run up into earnings. Run down into earnings here, but then it runs up into the earnings if you look here, and then profits will be taken. So I think it'll run up into earnings. We'll probably see the 360, 362 area. Let me run a Fibonacci retracement so I can kind of get like a better educated guess of where this might go. Okay, so I think we'll probably see the 364 area. The 364 area, I don't see us going to 372. We could, but I don't see us going there that high just due to the float. We're a 2.38 bill float. So I could see us running to this 364 area, and then profits will be taken. We'll probably return back to around the 350s, 345s, 348s area before slowly making a way back up, kind of paralleling what it does into earnings. It runs up into earnings, comes down, and then slowly makes its way back up. Here we go again, runs up into earnings, comes down, and slowly makes its way back up into the following earnings, depending on how guidance is, and we'll have to definitely watch all of that. But I believe Facebook's a powerhouse. Facebook in the past has said that they see themselves as a competitor to Apple. And the reason I say this is because their Oculus is their doorway into the VR AR world. Oculus is VR, but if you recall last year, they presented these AR glasses, which are wearables, which could operate as mobile tech. So I can definitely see Facebook going into the mobile space as they wanted to in the past, but not via cell phones, because cell phones are now this clunky thing you keep in your pocket, but via wearables. So via wearables, I can see them doing that for sure. You have AR glasses, you have a smartwatch, you have your Bluetooth headphones. That's the whole package you really need, because if your screen's right there, it'll take some time to get used to. But I think over time, AR glasses will be a thing. And I think Facebook will be the first to market with a product like that. It'll be shaky, just like we saw with the Google glasses many, many, many years ago. It was actually, I was a freshman in college when those first came out in 2000. Holy crap, was it 2000? No, 2012. I was about to say 2009. No, 2012. When I was a fresh 2013. What was it? 2012 or 2013. I'm getting old. I don't remember. But that's when the Google glasses first came out. I actually got an invite to purchase them, but I did not have the funds to purchase them at that time. So I said, no, thank you. I gave the invite to one of my friends, and he bought it. And the glasses were not easy to use. They weren't comfortable. But here we are many, many years later. I think Facebook will do a good job on them. I love the Oculus. I love what it does. I love how it operates. So I think that VR-wise, they're going to do very well. And AR-wise, they're going to continue to kill it. Let's go to Snapchat. I want to talk Snapchat with you all. Snapchat surprised me. I thought Snapchat was going to do very bad today. The estimates were lower than last quarter, so I wasn't expecting them to do well. But they did well. Congratulations to them. Here we go. Snap Q2, they actually came in EPS positive, beating the negative 0.1 estimate. They came in 10 cents positive. Their sales also beat. Year-over-year sales beat 116%. EPS beat 211.11%. So congratulations to Snapchat holders. Their guidance that they provided, they estimate a 1.7 to 1.85, 1.07 to 1.085 billion versus the 1.01 billion that was estimated. So they're increasing their guidance, which is very good. That's why you're seeing a jump in the stock. Look at that, 16 points, 16%, not points. But look at that. Snapchat also sees their daily active users increase 23% year over year. I still don't know who's using Snapchat. I have the app. I don't really use it. I don't like it. It's not very user friendly in my opinion. Their explore page is hyper. It's not there. I don't like it. I see that they run some programs on there. They run some quote unquote shows on there, but I've never liked it. I'll be 100% frank. It's never been for me. I think it's for a younger age demographic, but even when I was in that younger age demographic, it was never for me. So we'll have to definitely see how that all plays out. But yeah, shares are jumping. Let's take a look at their chart real quick. Snapchat, snappity chat. So it looks like at a certain point I was trying to play the stock, but it broke down and broke below. So I said no, thank you. So let me delete all these. So they're not worth. They're not usable anymore, but we can see that this stock, if we run fibs on it here, just from here to here, yes, I'm aware that we could have done them from there, but now I screwed it up. So you know what I'm going to do? We kind of broke the downward trend there. So you know what I'm just going to do? I'm just going to do it like this, a downward trend. Okay, now Weeble's being buggy, so I'm going to have to do it manually. All right. Yeah, look, we were about to enter into a downtrend, but then it's broken back up. So we can see here that the 63.78 was proving to be resistance, but now we've jumped to 73. Oh my gosh, look at this thing. It jumped up all the way up here. We're up here. Look at this. We're in the 73 area up here. Look at where the stock was at close, 62 now. Wow, what's the float? It's not a low float stock either. It's a billion float stock. Wow, interesting. Very, very interesting. I'm surprised. I imagine profit taking will happen very soon. It'll probably have a nice day tomorrow, but I imagine profits will be taken if you bought the stock anywhere above this line here. you're probably going to take some profits. Anyone who bought it down here is having a party right now. This is why you buy the fear and you sell the FOMO. Diz dive, possible on COVID shutdown 2.0. I believe you just bought more calls. Yeah, let's talk about it. So Stefan is actually one of the Patreon members. I have bought calls on Disney. I do like Disney long term. We did very well on Disney calls. Round one, we played 190 calls. We traded premiums. We did very well on that. I charted it last night. So let me get the chart from last night because I don't want to rechart the whole thing here. Let me just get that photo. I posted it in the Discord, so just give me 2 seconds to pull that up. While we're doing that, hit that like button, folks. We're light on likes today. We're very light on likes, but that's okay. We have a smaller audience today, and that's completely fine. But I'd appreciate it if you could hit the like button. Can we get up to 50 likes? We're at 30. We get 20 more people to hit the like button. We get to 50. That'll be awesome. Look, we have a lighter day today. The chat really moves when it's an AMC style thing, but I don't want to hinge the whole show on AMC. That's not my goal here. I don't want to build a whole program around one stock. That won't be fair to everyone else who has questions. Well, I find that picture of Mole Man, Etsy is one of my favorite stocks, believe it or not. We've had more, but I bought a ton when this situation was happening after their earnings drop. I bought somewhere in the 160s. Now we're back into the 200s, which means I'm an idiot. I should have bought more. I should have bought all of it. I should have went all in on Etsy, but hindsight is 2020, right? Hindsight's 2020. How was I supposed to know that Etsy was going to be a beast? Well, I should have known. Should have known. But look at that. Weeble's giving me trouble. Weeble, what are you doing? Oh, I see why. There we go. Sometimes these trading platforms will give you a run for your money when you're trying to draw something, and sometimes they're very good. So depends on the version and the bugginess. But look at this. We were about to enter into a downward trend based off the fib levels. We hit the 50 and we bounced clean bounce right off there. I should have added here. I was foolish. I was so foolish. I didn't add here. Should have added here, but now we're back to the 200s. It's doing very well. When are earnings for Etsy? I'm very curious. Etsy's earnings. August 4th. So we have a bit of time between now and August 4th for their earnings. I wonder what the estimates are. Financial. No. There we go. I got a shortcut to it. What am I doing? So you hit calendar, then you hit earnings. So the estimates aren't actually here. Okay, that's okay. But it looks like after market close on 8/4, it's been confirmed that they're going to be doing earnings on Wednesday. So I won't be live for that one, but I'll tweet about it. But I like Etsy a lot. I like Etsy quite a bit. So let me pull up that Disney chart for you, Stefan. Disney. I posted it last night at 10 p.m. I spend way too much time on this stuff. Sorry about that. Give me 1 second. Here it is. Open original. There we go. Okay. So Disney took a hit because of Netflix. Disney took a major hit because of Netflix. Netflix's earnings were bad, even though their businesses are quite different. I prefer Disney over Netflix 1,000 times over. I've never bought Netflix, never planned to buy Netflix, never liked Netflix. I like their service. I love their service. I've been using their service through T-Mobile. They give it to me for free, but I never liked Netflix's service. So I have to redraw this because we moved quite a bit today. So I'm going to freehand this one. If I make mistakes, forgive me. If I do a good job, you can hit the like button. Again, I'm doing this very, very loosely. It won't be perfect. Might be saying, Ryan, you're missing all the wicks, man. What are you doing? That's okay. Look at that. So we had a nice little jump out, a breakout here that occurred on the chart. Sad Boy will discuss that one for sure. Jeff, I appreciate you. Jeff. Thank you so much. I should have bought more Etsy too. Yeah, me too. I should have bought more. Yes, I see a few people talking about Eyes, Spirit, Path. We'll discuss all those in a second. We're about to end. We got a few more minutes, and then we go to the third part of the show where I look at your stocks. So just hang tight. But look at that. So Disney, we broke out. We did very well. We broke out. I need volume indicator. We broke out on volume. We did very well. Look at that, massive, thanks to Black Widow, and then it was rejected, and then it came to this 185 area, rejected. It came back down into the chart, broke back out. This was Netflix earnings, and then the Tuesday situation happened with the stock market. Netflix earnings is kind of pulling it down. I bought calls for August, so I'm not too worried. I mean, they're hurting right now. So to be 100% frank with you all, they're hurting right now because that's how calls are. As stock drops, you drop. Data kicks you in the neck. So it does. It's not a kind of a clean ride up right now with Disney. Full transparency, but I still like Disney long. I still have Disney shares long term, and I'm still holding the call. So I'll see how it goes through. I'll see how it plays out for me. But if you look here, we closed above this line. So this support line is holding. We need to slowly regain this. We need to cross at 177. So I had the vol wall here. So we need to cross this 177 area, and then we can start making our way back up to the 185s and fighting it. So if you see it, it's a clean jump from here. You just need to cross this line, and we can cleanly go up. But we have to see how it plays out. Was there any news on Disney? Disney, do you have anything for me here? What did I do? What the heck was that? I don't even know what I hit. Does anyone know what I just hit? I think I might have hit this home button, but Carnival Cruises. Is this a sign I should be going all in on? I'm just kidding. Don't go all in on Carnival Cruises unless you want to. Again, who am I to tell you what to do with your money? Disney, JP Morgan, Financial Co. filed a Form 42 for B2, auto control linked. Okay. I don't know what that is right now. If I have to look at that later. Walt Disney, call sweeps. Okay, call options, earnings. Okay, so earnings are 812. Okay, so you're getting call options coming in. You also have puts coming in. Disney could claim $570 million in state tax breaks from new Florida facilities, so that could be very good for them. I know I'm a Diz bull, but just curious on NFL news from Larry. I'm not sure what the NFL news is from Larry. Can you tag me in that? Let me check news. And I think he's talking about something in the Discord, but I don't see anything in the Discord from that. I'm not sure. I'm sorry, Stefan. Just tag me or shoot me a DM on Twitter or on Discord or wherever, and I'll definitely take a look at it. But all right, let's jump into some of your stocks. Let me jump into some of your guys' stocks. Let me go to the top, see what folks are asking about. And we don't have longer today, so I'll start a little bit early on your stocks. CPOP, CPOP culture. What is this? Pop Culture Group, China. Okay, so it looks like these guys IPO'd or de-IPO'd, and now they've just been tanking and holding. There isn't much information right now on this stock, and this chart's not very pretty. Imagine you just IPO'd and just went into oversold. I don't know anything about these guys. They're a holding company that focuses on hip-hop events. Also, so this is an event-based company. We know what's going on around the world with COVID. A lot of the Asian countries are closing up. We saw South Korea, we saw Japan. So personally, I wouldn't touch this one right now. Noah says Snow. Snow is the one that Warren Buffett famously bought for $5 a share when it IPO'd. Snow is interesting. Look at this. It's beginning to reverse here. I want my fibs. I want me fibs. All right. No. It doesn't matter if we're off a few pennies. But look at that. It came clean, bounced off of the 38.2 fib level. Now it's making its ascent back up. It wants to go for that 275. It looks like it. This stock does have a tendency of not wanting to ever go into oversold. It has here, overbought, excuse me. It has here. But look at that. This thing is a monster. But again, I've just had a love-hate relationship with Snow. I've never played it, never been one for me. But again, chart looks good. Looks like it's reversing. You've got 4 straight green candles. Very good. Let me see the weekly chart. Weekly, it's been doing very good on the weekly chart. It's going. So you could go for that. You could go for that 52-week high. I mean, that's not going to be 52-week high. The chart was at 400. But you could be going for this high of 275 very soon if volume holds up. And if you look today, you had a nice spike in volume. 4 trading days ago, you had a nice spike in volume. So that could definitely keep going. Okay, Carve. I promised William Carve. This is one that's shorts. People who play short stocks that are high in short percentages. People love this stock. So it makes the chart a little bit harder to play because it gets abused. But it looks like it's returning back to the mean. We'll have to see if it bounces here and jumps back up or it rips through the mean. Looking at the stock previously, it looks like it rips through the mean, comes to the bottom, then goes back up, rips through the mean, comes back up. But you have a lot of distance here between your Bollinger Bands, which indicates higher volatility, which is not a good thing. Personally for me, because not for me personally, because I'm not in the stock, but I'm just saying personally, if I was looking at it, I would avoid it. And it looks like you're in a downward trend here. Basically, you're maxing your RSI and your stock is clearly coming down. So I'd watch it very closely. This is more of a pumped stock. I'd be very careful with that. But again, this is one that has a tendency to run. So it's more of a day trade stock, in my opinion, than anything than a swing trade, because you have no clue when it's going to pop, if it's going to pop. You don't want to hold it back all the way down when it comes down to $7, and then maybe it pops again and it goes to, oh, $16. Oh, I had it at $16. So you don't want to play it that way. Any ideas on AEI? AEI sounds very familiar. Is this a REIT? Formerly HF Industrial. Oh, it's a construction company. Okay. Let's take a gander. Let's take a gander. Okay, so it looks like you broke the 50, came back, you tried to regain it, rejected it, came back down. Now, this area, the 502, is acting as your resistance. Volume has been down. I'm not sure what happened here on this day that you got a pop. This is a 7 million low float stock. So this thing moves. It's like a rabbit. Bang, 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 bang. It just jumps. This is one that maybe the kind of news revolving around the infrastructure bill could move it, but they're not a large company. Their market cap is only 45 million. Their float's very low. Right now, it looks like you're in a downward trend. Let me see the weekly. Weekly's flat. Let me see the 1 hour. It wants to reverse. Look at that. It wants to reverse, but the volume is just not there. I think it's being day traded like crazy. Maybe that's what's going on here, but I'm not sure on this one. Personally, I'd watch it. Sometimes it's good to watch a stock before jumping into it. I'd like it to regain that 548 before I entered it in again, but then yet again, my upside is so much lower right now, so I'm not crazy about it. I would have liked it a lot more down here. Obviously, hindsight's 2020, genius, but when you are oversold, some of these stocks tend to jump on being oversold and climb back up, but not up here. But I would have expected this to come to the $4 area from 340. Quick swing trade. Bro, I got 20K in Palantir since March in it at 26.20. Is it time to pull out the plug and move on? So, Quentin, I don't know if you're still here in the chat. If you are, comment something so I can ask you a few questions. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, so I can't tell you what to do, but I'll tell you what I'm doing with Palantir. I'm holding this thing until 2025. For me, Palantir is a long buy and hold. A lot of people have no idea what they do, and that makes it a good thing for me. It means I can get it for cheap. The fact that this stock's price is this low is outrageous, but it makes sense because of the compensation plan within the SEC document filings. So it's going to suffer for another year or two, but then it will roar. It's one of those where you just wake up and be like, oh, it's a $50, $60, $70, $80 stock. I'm exaggerating there a little bit, but to me, there's no reason why this should be trading in the 25, 30s personally. But again, it's one that when it ran this high, Kathy Wood dumped 700,000 shares, and here we are. So now we're in a bit of a downtrend. It looks like it bounced here. We want it to regain this 22.28 as support and then start to make its way back up. If it doesn't, we will make our descent back and see it'll test 21 again. And if we break 21, I can see us coming back down to my buy zone, which is under 20. For me personally, I buy more Palantir under 20. But again, it's up to you. You've got, I don't know if you have 20,000 shares, $20,000. I don't know how much of your portfolio that is. So I don't want to, can't make any suggestions to you. Legally, can't make any suggestions to you. Okay. Can we take a look at QS and ChargePoint? I freaking hate QS. The company's stock price makes no sense. We've got no product, no revenue, nothing, zilch, zero, nada, zero. Look, zero, nothing. No revenue. Balance sheet has money, but it's got no revenue. It's got, look at this. It's about more than 10x their book value in cash, which makes no sense. Their net assets, what is that, 1.62 bill? Total assets, 1.26 bill. So they're about like 9x their net assets. Looking at like another company in parallel to something that's in a very similar situation would be something like NNDM, which also doesn't have much in terms of like revenue. But their cash balance is about, look at this, 1.4, but they're about 2 bill. They're 1.4. They're closer to 2 bill now. No, 1.4 is correct because they've made 2 acquisitions. But if you look at here, this is another company that's got almost no revenue. But if you look at their market cap, it's very on par. They're trading closer to their book value, around the 1.2 1.4 bill assets. So they're trading very close to that. That's where I'd like to see QS trade. If QS was not DS, QS was near their book value, which in my opinion it would be a market cap that's 9x smaller or 10x smaller. This stock should be, what is that? It should be a $2 stock, $2-3 stock in my opinion. Not, if I'm being generous, $5. It should be a $5 stock. It makes no sense that this stock is trading for this premium. There's no reason this stock should be a $23 stock. It makes no sense. And you can hit the dislike button if you like. I don't care. This makes no sense. They have nothing. They have nothing. They're literally a dream. They're literally selling you a dream. And it bothers me because this is the reason why the SPAC sector gets beat up and made fun of tremendously, is because of stocks like this. You got no money, you've got no product, you've got nothing, yet your market cap is 9.5 billion. What kind of a world do we live in that a company with nothing is worth 9.5 billion? Yet again, people buy it, people trade it. The thing went to $132. I was screaming puts here. And this was a time when I wasn't trading options, or I would have bought Leap puts on this. I would have spent thousands of dollars buying Leap puts, and I would have been very, very rich. But it is what it is. I don't like this company. I don't think anyone should be buying into this company. A company that has no product is worthless. Worthless. If you have no product, you have no service, you're worthless. And here, look at this. It looks like it hits resistance on this line here. It's the kind of the resistance point. Let me go year to date. It's kind of like this resistance area. So it comes up, hits this line, comes back down. So watch it. I don't like it. I'm sorry. This is my personal opinion. I don't like it. ChargePoint. ChargePoint is an interesting company as well. I have ChargePoint shares, full transparency, but they're struggling. The 12 million share sell hurt the stock a lot. It shouldn't have, but it dramatically hurt the stock. And that's unfortunate. But it bounced off of the 78.6 fib level. It's trying to fight back this downtrend, but now it's kind of stuck in a downtrend. So let me redraw the fibs because we are in a downtrend. So we want to see how this plays out now. It needs to get back to the 29 level. Unfortunate, quite unfortunate. Good company, but they operate mainly in commercial. But they need to get more into. They've made an acquisition recently, or kind of a combination, not combination, a kind of a deal. I forgot who it was. Acquires Volkswagen back. E-mobility company for they bought it. They acquired a company 2 days ago for 294 million. E-mobility to kind of expand more, but we'll have to see. It's an interesting company. It's one to watch. EVs are coming, so you need the charging stations. To me, again, this is another one of those 2-3 year plays. Norma says, Bill, I don't know if that's a stock or if you're talking to someone in the chat. There's a company, Bill Holdings. There we go. Finally, something that's not a penny stock. I have no idea what these guys do. Cloud-based. Okay, cool. Yeah, see, that's all you need right there. It's just like, cool, cloud-based. Okay, cool. And then I could think about like not Salesforce, excuse me. Think of all these other cloud-based companies. Would you look at them apples? This thing's moving. This thing's killing it. And it's just reversed on the MACD, so it can go even farther. So let's see where we think it could go. So let me do an extension. Down, up, down. So this could possibly make its way to 208. Would be the next level that I see, then 215, depending on how it moves. But, wow, it's a low float, too. Low float company, 79 million shares outstanding. So it can move fairly quickly. And it's looking very good. It's looking very good on the charts. So this is awesome. I think producer AB's jumping in. Put my headphones on.
What's up, Ryan? How we doing?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good. Sorry I'm late today. Had a couple exciting calls, though, so that's nice.
That's good.
What I didn't have calls on were Snap and Twitter. I should have, though.
Oh, man, you missed them.
I know. I always beat
I didn't
myself.
have calls on either. I just have commons that I've been buying for Twitter, which made me very, very happy today with Twitter moving. Snapchat always surprises me. I just don't like the company or the product, so I never buy the stock, and I'm always disappointed when it moves this fast. So I'm like, okay, that sucks. Should have bought it.
Yeah, I mean, I look at Twitter and Snap in kind of the same realm as like companies that have a big user base but not able to like monetize them. But this recent round of earnings shows us that maybe both companies have figured out a way to monetize it a little bit better. And I like playing Snap, on options just because the stock's very volatile. It's fun.
Yeah.
But
it's wildly volatile because it's over $1 billion float, which to me, it's like, why is it so volatile over $1 billion float? I just want to double check the float so I'm not an idiot.
I know. We need to kick back up the psychology of trading, because one of my big weaknesses is I'll like kick myself when I miss a trade like this. Like, I know if I was focusing on trading full time today instead of like doing my job, I would have bought calls on Snap before earnings, but I didn't, because I just didn't have time and didn't like think about it. And now I'm kicking myself when that's not the right mindset to have. The right mindset to have is that there's always the next trade. There will always be more trades.
Next earnings, next trade. Also, they were estimated to do lower this quarter. Based off of the quarter-over-quarter, they were estimated to go lower. So I don't blame you for not playing. That's the reason I didn't play it. I looked at the guidance that was provided, looked at the analyst estimates. It was set to go lower. They beat it, which is surprisingly, but we'll have to see. Nicole has a good comment coming in about ChargePoint, saying that Tesla said everyone can use their charging stations. We don't need ChargePoint. Interesting. Yeah, I do agree. I do see your point there, Nicole. But the thing I also see is you need charging stations across the board. So I am a heavy investor in Tesla, but I do see that we need auxiliary charging stations. So that's why I like Volta, I like ChargePoint, because we need to expand. And ChargePoint is also big in Europe. So
I think we need to see the actual. I think Musk might have said that about China, maybe specifically, maybe not so much about the States. But I also I hate to say it, but I kind of take anything that Musk says with a grain of salt, because a lot of it doesn't end up coming to fruition. He just says things that sound good at the time. I don't know if it was with you, Ryan, that we discussed. Yeah, it was when we were talking about EVs the other day, that he said back in like 2012 that by 2015 we're going to have a EV car for everyone, that the price point's going to be $30,000, whatever, and then like that.
I think he'll do it though. I think he'll get there. I'll be honest with you. I think he'll get there and do that. I think that he's an entrepreneur as well as an engineer. And this is the battle that a lot of entrepreneurs have, is that their eyes are always running. They talk about what they want to see. They talk about it. And someone like Musk, unfortunately, his timelines aren't dependable. I love Elon. I love what he does. He's fantastic. I'm heavily invested in Tesla. It's one of my top 5 holdings, full transparency. But the thing being said there is that Elon he sets expectations too high, and that hurts companies. That's why, like, for example, if you look at Snap, why is Snap running so heavy today is expectations were low. They beat the expectations, and now the stock is running. So that's why I always lower my expectations, because I prefer to be surprised than disappointed. So that's kind of like how I operate. And talking about like the psychology of trading, coming from your standpoint, is just remember there's always another trade. There's more earnings reports coming up. You've got other stocks that are out there. So we'll have to see how those play out. But never beat yourself up for missing a trade. Never do that. Never beat yourself up for anything. Losing money on a trade, selling early. Don't ever do that, because the market's been here before us. It'll be here after us. It's not going anywhere, and opportunities are infinite. That's
a great point. That puts it in perspective, Ryan. But yeah, I mean, back to the ChargePoint Tesla thing. I don't think it's necessarily like fair to say, because Tesla has their charging stations, we're not going to see ChargePoint at all. I mean, I definitely think there is room for multiple players in that field. I mean, think about it. Think about how big gas stations are, how many gas stations there are. This is going to be the gas station of the future, these charging stations, and we have the opportunity now to invest early. Have certain stocks like ChargePoint and Plug like gotten a little too expensive in the past? Sure. Yeah. But guess what? They come down from those highs, and we're still in the early stages. So I'm not saying go out and buy every single one of these, charging station plays. I'm saying look into it, find the one or two or three that you like, and understand that you're investing in a sector that is growing and will continue to grow.
Yeah, for some people this is a scalp trade. For some people it's a long-term investment. For me, ChargePoint and Volta are long-term investments. I'm reassessing my Volta investment now, because my view on SPACs is completely like 180'd. My new methodology for SPACs is slowly becoming buy them after the lockup, buy them after the warrants are called in. So I've been slowly kind of edging away from SPACs. I'm mainly using them for scalp or swing trading now, but we'll have to see. But I totally agree with you, man. I totally agree that it's never going to be a one rules them all situation. You're always going to have multiple. And you saw I put Rumor's comment up earlier too.
I know, I know you put it up earlier, but I got to follow up on this. Rumor, who's Kobe, R.I.P., and who is Shaq? I got to know.
That's true. I'll be happy with either.
That's what I'm saying.
Have you seen Shaq's investment portfolio? That guy is like slaughtering the world. Like he's killing it.
Yeah, he has a great investment portfolio. I mean, there's a few former like NBA players that have, but honestly, one of the savviest things that Shaq does is he makes a lot of money from just endorsements. Like he'll endorse Icy Hot or all these different things.
Nikola.
Yeah, and it's yeah, I mean it's incredible like how much these companies will pay a guy like Shaq to do like a few commercials.
Do you remember that?
Nikola, the car company?
Yeah, Shaq was one of their promoters for the Nikola car.
I don't remember that. I know he's in the Icy Hot commercials. I know he's
Let me pull it up.
What other commercials is he in? He's in a bunch of other commercials. And yeah, pull it up real quick, Ryan. But unfortunately, it's not like Tuesday. We do have another show after this. I know. I'd want to go an hour and a half with you always.
Here it is. I don't know if the post is still there or he's taking it down. But here it is from Shaq. My boys, Heavy Sparks, Lake Power, Trevor, and he posted the Nikola Badger from Shaq. So it's hilarious.
Oh yeah, here we're getting the different Shaq endorsements in the Papa John's Gold Bond. I thought Gold Bond, but I didn't because I know he's in Icy Hot, or maybe it's Gold Bond that has like an Icy Hot type product. But it seemed like Gold Bond and Icy Hot were too similar for him to been in both. But the General, he's in some of those like insurance commercials. Love those.
That's true.
So yeah, I think that I just love it because people are like, "Oh, look at this sellout. He's like taking money for," and it's like, do you know? You understand? You understand how good of a business decision that is to make $1 million for a 30-second commercial that you have to go on like a 4-hour shoot from. So it's interesting.
It blows my mind. It's like you guys have to realize that these guys, this is how they make money. They're not playing. If they're not playing basketball anymore, they don't have a 9-to-5 job. This is how they make money. What do you mean by selling out? Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
There's AB. I think we got to wrap, man. We got another great show coming up at 6 p.m. I'm blanking on. I think it's Chance Trades.
Yep, we got Chance Trades, and we also have. Sorry, I'm just reading the chat right now. The General, okay. I wouldn't call the marketing bad. I mean, like
the marketing is fantastic. Yeah, it's purposely bad.
Yeah, the song like always gets stuck in your head. It's interesting. But yeah, we got Chance Trades coming up. If you haven't checked that out, he's got an awesome story. He's one of my favorite retail investors. So check out Chance Trades. We're also going to be streaming the Twitter earnings call, I believe.
Oh, cool. I'll be watching that though.
Yep. And shout out Paulina. Please smash the like on this video. Turn that little gray thumb into a blue thumb. Help us out. It helps out the algorithm. It helps us give you more and more trade ideas. So with that, Ryan, we will be back next week.
See you guys next Tuesday. Have a good one. You can follow me at Ryan Rozbiani. All the links are in the description. Appreciate you all. Appreciate you, producer AB, and appreciate you, Zinger Nation. Have a great day.
Boom. Check out ryanstocks.com as well. All the links can be found there.